This episode of Southeast Iowa Today is brought to you by Griner Auto Body of Washington, Iowa, using state-of-the-art techniques and decades of experience to get your car back on the road after an accident. Car Doctor of Washington, Iowa. No matter who Frankensteined it, they can fix it, clean it, and customize it. McDonald Boatyard of Keota, Iowa, for all your farm equipment and auto recycling needs. For great food, it's your choice family restaurant of Leland, Iowa. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Try the John Bain sandwich on your next visit. Girling Repair of Winfield, Iowa. If your mower is dead, call Fred, your Husqvarna, Aaron's, and Gravely dealer. Fred also fixes and sells snowblowers. B&B Propane and the family of jet stops. CW Tree Trimming, LLC. We're into your trees, not your wallet. Serving all of Henry County and the surrounding area, and we offer a senior citizen and veteran discount.
Iowa Technology Systems of Mount Pleasant, Iowa. Your one-stop computer tech shop. If you, someone you know, or are a business that is having trouble needing laptop, PC, or business technology help, call us today. Visit iowatechsys.com.
Dutch Market and Coffee Talk of Washington, Iowa. Dutch Market can handle all of your grocery needs. They even have a conference room that you can use for free. Coffee Talk's drive-thru is open and ready to serve you coffee, energy drinks, sandwiches, baked goods, and ice cream. They all present the award-winning Southeast Iowa Today. Here's the author of Christie's Journey, The Beat Goes On, and your host, John Bain.
Thank you, announcer Cody Roy of NewEnglandDukes.com for your golden pipes and wonderful introduction. Back on Thursday, December 11, 2025, I attended the Henry County Iowa Board of Supervisors meeting. During public comment, Henry County citizen Leland spoke, and one of his topics he brought up was the fact that in February 2025, and again, another instance in August of 2025, he received, and these are his words, an anonymous and malicious letter. A letter that also mentioned a pornographic act. I have seen that letter, and we'll share it with you later in this podcast. But first, I will take you back to December 11th, and you will see and hear directly from Mr. Graber himself. Let's go to that recording right now.
Okay, so some time ago, I ran into this old boy that doesn't live here anymore, but he still has family here. And we had a conversation, and as we were parting ways, he invited me to come over, and he wanted to take me to their courthouse. And he said the people there were always happy, eager to help with anything, so professional, they always made you feel important. And then he said, your courthouse sucks. And that's too bad because you guys get played pretty well. So thinking back to the former Board of Supervisors, when Steve Dietrich, you weren't here, and Greg Moeller sat there and he was the chairman. And I'd come in here and sometimes I'll admit I was a little direct and spoke a little bit freely. But I never threatened anybody and never used curse words. And so one day, Moeller says to me, he says, you know, we have rules for public comments. I said, oh, where are the rules? Well, we're working on it. So several weeks later, they finally put guidelines for public comments on the bottom of the agenda, which I noticed it's not on there today. I don't know why, but anyhow, I think that was his greatest accomplishment. He was pretty proud of that. Somebody must have told him that we have a First Amendment. So, then the county attorney, he comes in here, scolds you three guys like your children for providing outside counsel. Well, he dismissed the charges against the Wagler family. To cover that up, he puts Deputy Lopez on the Brady Giglio list. And then he's the one that's caused this problem. So, the three of you guys let him get away with it. You just sat there and took it, let him get away with it. And I think you three need to go right over there and tell him to pick up his toys and go home. Don't need him anymore. He can't help us. And I think there's probably some of us in here that go with you. All right. Now, mid-February, I brought this anonymous letter in here that detailed IT specialist Wellington scamming the county out of overtime money. And you guys started looking into it and called for an audit. And our auditor sitting right here, Robin Dietrich. She wasn't very happy about that. August the 15th of this year, 11:21 in the morning. Auditor Robin Dietrich called Vicki on her cell phone and told her she also had a copy of this letter. She took a photo of that letter and the envelope that it came in and texted it to Vicki's cell. And Vicki told her that none of that conversation would leave the house, and I honored that. Vicki doesn't want anything to do with this Henry County debauchery. But the copy of this letter, right here, and I'm going to give a copy of this to Tracy Lamb as a Hawkeye, clearly shows that this letter came to the Henry County Auditor at the Henry County Courthouse. It's an official county document. Okay? Anyhow, it ends up not very nice. Keep in mind, 11:21 is when she calls Vicki. We have a rural mail carrier. We don't get mail until between 12 and 1. So she knew I was getting that letter before I got it. That's no secret. Anyhow, I brought my copy of the letter in here, handed it off to somebody else that's named in it, and I think it made circulation around the courthouse. And nobody that I know of has a problem with it. I haven't heard of anything. So it was a malicious letter. And if you guys think it's okay to talk about us like that, we got a problem, I think. Anyhow, this just to remind you, this letter accuses myself and 2 others, we're parents and grandparents, citizens and taxpayers, and us 3, and a supervisor that is equally elected and not subordinate to Miss Dietrich, of a pornographic act. That's disgusting. Anyhow, so she obviously wanted me to know that she had that letter because she sent the envelope that went to her. She's threatening me into silence. That's what it is. I can see that. It's pretty simple. She doesn't like our comments. So anyhow, speaking collectively to you, and Mark, if I can use your word here, because of your stupidity, you got us into a $5 million lawsuit. And we're aware of that. Anyhow, now we get this letter. What do you think that looks like? Okay, September the 2nd, Vicki got an anonymous phone call on her phone from a woman wanting to talk to me. She had just moved to town and was interested in county government. I asked her where she got that number. She wouldn't tell me, and she wouldn't tell me her name. So I gave her my number and told her not to call Vicki again. The next day, September the 3rd, 2 p.m., Derek Wellington called me. No caller ID, but I know it was him, because he told me something that only him and me would know about. Anyhow, without me asking, he said he saw that letter, that anonymous letter, and he knew who wrote it. He did not see the copy from me, so he had to see the copy that Miss Dietrich has. Anyhow, that call lasted 24 minutes, by the way. He said if he revealed who wrote that letter, it would jeopardize his legal case. He has an attorney in Iowa City. Supervisor Chad White and Steve Dietrich broke the law, and he's going to have them removed. So, I think if we find out who wrote that letter, we'll know who's quietly helping him get you 2 guys removed. And if my math is correct, and I said if we find out who wrote that letter, we'll also find out who had a hand in that hidden camera in the women's bathroom. Okay, October the 16th, public comments in the Board of Supervisor meeting. Miss Dietrich scolds us and for comments and recording posted to Facebook, makes her department look bad. And then she puts the same thing in the KILJ written comments and then the Hawkeye letter. Okay, she invites anyone to her office, get the facts. She's nothing to hide, her door's open, she's the source. I've given her 3 times written questions, okay? I get nothing. So her comments are simply nonsense and harassment. And that's pretty good. In her comments, her written comments, she mocks us by writing that she takes great pride in keeping accurate county records, and she has that in her desk. On November the 3rd, she reminded me that she had that letter, again threatening me into silence. So, anyhow,
How did I threaten you?
you mind, I'm speaking. You wait
It's
your
past
turn.
your 3 minutes, but how did I
You
do
don't
that?
keep time, okay?
Mark, it's past his 3 minutes.
Can I go on?
I'm gonna let him speak today, but I would like,
Yeah.
I'm letting you speak, Leland.
Okay,
Go ahead.
thank you.
But I would like, of course, to keep it
I'm
briefer in the
gonna
future.
hustle through the rest of this. Anyhow, for those of you watching this video, you can go to the auditor's office and get a copy of that letter. She has to give it up. It's covered by the Freedom of Information Act. And you can find out how our county government treats the citizens and the taxpayers. Pretty simple. And if you find out who wrote that letter, I got a $100 bill for you. Bring me the proof. You'll get the $100. Keep in mind though, you gotta be 18 or older because of the content of the letter. Okay, next week maybe I'll come in here and read that letter for the people outside the county, because Ms. Dietrich says transparency is a duty of service to taxpayers. So she'd want me to do that. Okay, and I'm gonna hand you guys, your supervisors, a couple, her letter and the letter in the Hawkeye. And I just asked, lay them side by side, compare the words, the language, the accusations, and the people. Draw your own conclusion. And with that, Ms. Dietrich, make sure you get all this in the minutes, because the meeting hasn't been adjourned yet. When Ms. Dietrich interrupted me, I just forgot one comment. That letter, and I'm gonna give it to you again, it's defamation and it's libel, okay? So I want you to think about that. That's all.
Anybody else?
As you have seen and heard, Leland Graber has an idea who wrote and sent the letter, but that he doesn't have solid proof yet. He wants to get to the bottom of this, and as you also saw and heard, he's putting up $100 of his own money to find out. Right after this quick break, I will read you that letter. Pfeiffer Sawmill, your local home for kiln-dried lumber and affordable trailer decking to your specifications. All in Rome, Iowa, serving Mount Pleasant and all surrounding areas. Do you like to throw a hatchet? They've got your board. Call Ben today at 319-931-4544. Okay, this letter that I'm about to read to you should not be heard by young ears, so I'm giving you plenty of warning to turn down your volume or stop watching or listening at this point if you have young ones seeing and or hearing this podcast episode right now. When you have the little ones safely away doing other things, you can rejoin this podcast. And with that being said, I will start reading this letter to you in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No one can say that I didn't give you time, so here I go. Dear Mr. Graber, as a resident of Henry County, I feel it's necessary to address a few issues regarding your conduct and behavior during supervisors' meetings. It has become clear that your actions are not in the best interest of the community, but rather seem to be driven by the influence of individuals like Melanie Patton, Bill Crawford, and Steve Dietrich. Frankly, it appears you are operating more as a pawn for their agenda than as an independent voice in these meetings. Your actions and behavior in these meetings do more to stir up drama than to contribute to meaningful discussion. Instead of focusing on the present issues facing our community and working toward solutions, you continue to create unnecessary conflict and personal attacks inappropriate comments, and irrelevant digressions. The supervisors' meetings are intended to serve the public's interests, not to act as a platform for political drama or petty disputes. If you're intent on pointing fingers or searching for something to critique, maybe it would be more constructive to look closer to home. For example, perhaps you should focus on the assessor's office, particularly Nathan Milks and the actual work being done in that department or lack thereof. As a fellow member of this community, I expect you to focus on building up our county, not tearing it down with unnecessary distractions. Your behavior has done far more harm than good and continues to undermine the work that needs to be done for the benefit of everyone here. I encourage you to reflect on your actions and reconsider the way you are engaging with your fellow community members. We deserve better than the divisiveness and drama that have come to define your participation in these meetings. Lastly, make sure you take Steve Dietrich's cock out of your hand, because it is obvious that you, Melanie Patton, and Bill Crawford have a firm grip on it. Sincerely, your friend in the field. Well, there you have it, dedicated and loyal podcast audience. I'm sure you are processing all that I have shared with you on this episode. Once that is completed, make sure to comment below. Also, make sure to give this episode a like, follow, and subscribe. It's free. My comment on this is the following. Whoever wrote that letter and sent it to Mr. Graber and to the county auditor's office is a coward. They write, quote, as a fellow member of this community, I expect you to focus building up our county, not tearing it down with unnecessary distractions, unquote. Who does this individual think they are? They expect, well, I expect, if you think you're doing any good and also putting out expectations, then shouldn't you be doing this as an individual? The cowardly way that you're doing this is just terrible. Identify yourself. Thanks for watching. Thank you to my sponsors, Griner Auto Body, Car Doctor, McDonald Boneyard, Your Choice Family Restaurant, Girling Repair, B&B Propane, and the family of Jet Stops, CW Tree Trimming LLC, Iowa Technology Systems, Dutch Market, and Coffee Talk. As I said before, you're a coward the way you did this. If you have expectations and you have concerns, be a man or be a woman and identify yourself. I'm your host, John Bain. Merry Christmas and stay friendly, Southeast Iowa.